When it comes to the Fast Saga, which is your favorite film? Let's chat about it in the comments below. F9, the Fast Saga. Here we have Justin Lin returning as the director for this latest film in the Fast Saga. This is the 9th film and pretty much brings back just about everyone that you know that's part of this saga. I caught this movie this past weekend with my brother. This was opening weekend. As far as I know, this one isn't streaming anywhere. This was a direct to theater experience, and let's just say it's definitely an experience. So all right, let's just get into this. I've pretty much seen the majority of these films. There are maybe 2, maybe 3 I haven't seen. I have not watched the Hobbs and Shaw film, and I did not see Tokyo Drift. The only one I can't really remember was Too Fast, Too Furious. Going into this film, there were moments where I kind of wished I had rewatched all of the films before the 9th one, just because, you know, these aren't films I typically go to regularly. It's one like if I really didn't have much going on and someone was streaming it, yeah, I may check it out on a weekend, but this hasn't been my go-to. For me, this is like guilty pleasure movies. I've never been a huge fan of them, especially the direction that they shifted. We'll talk about that in a second. But I do tend to like the original. If you look at the original, and kind of like the original idea was kind of interesting. But let's just go into this one. This one is hard to get around it. It's a pretty ridiculous movie, but it is very entertaining. So when we look at F9, this is following Dom Toretto, who's basically just gotten away from everyone. He's trying to live this quiet life, middle of nowhere. He's with Letty, and they're with their son, little Brian. But of course, you know, there's always something going on. And in this case, we're going to get deep into family, but in a different sense. So this is, if you look at the story of this, that's where it gets a little bland. There's nothing too crazy. This is like the typical spy thriller. There's a bad guy who's trying to get some kind of object, and this team is basically being recruited again to go after this. So this is where I was getting a little hazy, because where did this become a movie where it was about a cop chasing these vigilante type people that are, you know, stealing cars, you know, robbing criminals type activities, to the point where these are just super soldiers. And that's essentially what you get here is, you know, you're getting all this, the latest and greatest technology of someone steals this object, and there's this figure, and you can see the shadow of something that looks familiar, and just goes into this. Now, I try my best not to get into spoilers, so we'll kind of go into this because the trailer kind of shows this. You know, they are going after Dom's brother in this film, Jakob, who is essentially like, he's basically just like Dom. He's going to be an amazing car driver. He's super fast, super strong, and he's just, you know, this high performance skilled assassin, and they just have to team up to go after this guy. So, man, where do I even begin on this? Yeah, right out of the gate, you get some of the big scenes. I think part of the issues I've had with this is you do get a lot of the most exciting moments in the trailer. They definitely, you know, did heavy marketing on this, and that is a bit of a downfall. There's a lot of exciting moments that you get a good glimpse of it in the trailer. It doesn't take too much away. This is also a 2.5-hour film. And one of the biggest issues I had with this is it's extremely repetitive. You get a lot of build up to the family story, so you get a lot of this connection between Dom and Jakob and kind of what they went through to why they are butting heads. But even in the core story, you get a lot of repetitiveness, and it gets a little old after a while. This could have been, they could have taken this down to a 2-hour film, possibly an hour and a half if they really tightened things. But it's almost like they wanted to make certain things known. And, you know, The acting is fine in this. I mean, you're familiar with this core cast, so they own these roles. You do have to look in a sense that, how many more of these could they do? They are getting older, so how much of this is I mean, I'm sure there's so many stunt doubles here because the things that they do in this film are just insane. And the two things I will talk about, maybe this is spoilerish, so warning, like, if you want to go see this film, go see this. But it seems like the two things they definitely want to make known that they want to poke fun at is they own up to the fact that this franchise is just ridiculous. I mean, they are constantly saying, there's one character in particular that's just like, how are we not dead? Like, how are we able to do all these things that we do and come out without scratches? And I just kind of laughed at that because I kind of like the fact that they're owning up, like, yeah, this is just ridiculous. And then this is the typical baddie, just spoiled rich kids, wants to definitely emphasize that money is never an object. And I really was kind of looking at this as a nod to just the Hollywood aspect of it. Like, if they keep making these movies, they will just dump money into these. This is a $1 billion franchise already. So it's like Hollywood has no issue of dumping money into this to keep them going and make it as ridiculous as possible. So those types of moments just have been cracking up and then you look at the level of things that they do and how they do come out of it without a scratch. It's just ridiculous. But with all that being said, it's an entertaining film. The characters that we know, we're used to, they own these roles. You get essentially Jakob as the brand new character. The villain was just your typical villain, nothing too crazy. I kind of reflected a lot from like Nobody. Very similarities there, like a lot of money, just don't care, just want to take over the world, just do whatever. Definitely sets this up. You got Cipher back, which is played by Charlize Theron. You do get another big celebrity make a little cameo appearance, which was really interesting. Curious to see if they'll bring her back. And then, of course, you got everyone else. So, yeah, overall, like, it's a popcorn flick. It's, if you're a fan of the franchise, you're probably going to like it. It's definitely one, go on a weekend, just enjoy it. I've seen some people on Twitter say they went to a drive-in and saw this, which could be kind of fun, but with that being said, I'm not thrilled with this film. If I decide to go rank these films, if I go watch the rest of them, this would probably sit pretty low. So for F9, the Fast Saga, I'm going to give this movie a C. Again, like, the effects are cool. If you're familiar with these characters, the acting is fine. Like, they kind of own up to these roles. It's just really long, it's really repetitive, and it's just really ridiculous. So let me know, did you go see this? What did you think? Before I kind of sign off, of course, like in most of these, there is a mid-credit scene where we have two characters come face to face. So, curious to see if this is going to lead up. What are they going to do, really? Is this going to be a 10th film? I mean, it will be a 10th film, but will this be an actual, like, fast film, or is this going to be, like, another Hobbs and Shaw type film? I won't spoil who the two characters are, but, yeah, check it out. The people that stuck around to watch the mid-credit scene, they were definitely clapping and cheering. So, yeah, the team behind this, they're having a blast. Just curious to see how far this will go. So, thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. I was out last week. Life goes on, busy with work and family. But been catching up on movies, so I'm going to try to get a few reviews out this week. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Let's get into the comments below. Say hello. Let me know, what did you think of this film? If you have a favorite in the franchise, would love to know which it is. For me, I like the first one the best. One I may revisit pretty soon. So thanks again. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next one.